Hustlers. On today's episode of the Trump the Hustle podcast, we're joined by entrepreneur, Airbnb expert, and the founder of a multi-million-dollar Airbnb arbitrage business. Before real estate, she built a successful corporate career working as a creative director for companies like Microsoft and Amazon. But she wanted more freedom, more control over time, and a different path to wealth. After discovering Airbnb through online research and taking a leap of faith by investing $35,000 to a mentor, she built a portfolio that has grown over to $10 million in Airbnbs. Today, she teaches others how to launch and scale their own Airbnb business, with some students getting their first unit up and running in as little as 45 days. On today's episode, we dive into the mindset, risk, and strategies that helped her make the transition from corporate America to entrepreneurship. Today's episode, Linda Kim. Welcome to another episode of the Trump the Hustle podcast, where real estate investors and entrepreneurs share the stories, strategies, and mindset behind their hustle. I'm Michael Yanis, aka Mr. Hustle. To my right, Scott Moon.
Let's go.
And today's special guest, Linda Kim. How you doing?
Amazing. First time here in San Antonio. Super excited.
Welcome to San Antonio, Military City, USA.
Oh.
And almost 6-time Spurs champs. Oh,
Almost. Military City, USA. And I say that because I know what you do and how you do. So I want to make sure I say that in the beginning. Now, before we get into it, I always started this way. What's my hustle? My hustle is real estate wholesaling, real estate flipping, and real estate subject to by taking over payments. When someone thinks of Linda, what's Linda's hustle?
Definitely Airbnb. I'm known as the Airbnb for now, at least.
Airbnb queen?
Airbnb, yeah.
Airbnb. So let's do this, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
Before managing the $10 million portfolio of luxury Airbnbs, and I believe a creative director at companies like Amazon and Microsoft, I want to take it back. Like, who was Linda before all of that? Let's take it back.
Oh, before
all of that. Yeah, let's talk about Linda before all of the $1 million of Airbnbs and creative director. What's Linda's story?
So I was born and raised in Washington, Seattle, Washington. I lived there my whole life before I moved to California. And my parents immigrated from Korea and didn't really speak English. They worked at the same post office for 30 years. So same building. And I didn't have a lot of growth mindset. But so I kind of did this traditional path, especially with Asian parents. You know, it's like, go to college, get good grades.
Be a doctor?
Yeah. So then I went to college, and then I went to UW, University of Washington.
The college, did you want to go to college as you kind of wanted, or because it was your parents?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I just thought I just didn't even think twice about it. I just figured like that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, like I just didn't even think that wasn't an option. So I pretty much went there, and then that's when I started my tech career. But before that, yeah, shy, quiet kid growing up in Seattle. And
Seattle. Yeah. I like Seattle. I've been there a few times. So Seattle to California. Now, you said your parents didn't speak English. How was that growing up?
Not at the time.
At the time.
Yeah.
How was that growing up? Easy? I mean, is any cultural shocks or not really, because you were born obviously in Seattle and your parents are from Korea, you said?
Yes. Yeah, they were from Korea. So I didn't really notice it, which is interesting. But I grew up speaking Korean and English.
What was your first language?
English, I feel
English?
like. Yeah.
Okay, so now you said you went into the tech world, right?
Yeah.
Parents didn't really say, you just thought you had to go to college because that's what it is. And you said tech world. Why tech world back then?
It's interesting because I was always a creative. I always was drawing since I was a kid. And I always felt like, okay, I know I'm going to be an artist. And I didn't know what kind, but then I knew that I'm not going to go, be like Bob Ross. I'm not going to go like make paintings. Like there's no money in that, obviously. Yeah. So then I just explored different ways to be creative. So that was graphic design, to graphic design in college. And then that just led to naturally into tech. So I wasn't thinking like I want to get into tech. It was just, I'm going to design digitally, and then, yeah.
Tech. That's tech.
It's not my first thought when you think of being creative and going to tech, but now that you explain it like that, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Did somebody turn that on to you, or is that just something that popped in your head? I wonder, how did you go to that direction?
Yeah, I was just taking a college class, trying to figure out which kind of design I wanted to do. I even did interior, graphic, I did everything. And then I just realized how much I liked graphic. And then so I thought, okay, I'm going to just get this degree and try to get a job. And I didn't even think like anything about tech. It was just, I'm going to do graphic design and design things on the computer.
Did you have a career path or like a job that you wanted in mind when you were doing that?
It was pretty much being a graphic designer. And so I applied at all these places and got into like an advertising agency in the city, and then started from there. And then,
so after school, advertising agency, doing graphic designing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then that fulfill you in life? Graphic designing?
It's funny because when I got that job, before that I was working at, just like random stores. So getting that job was really exciting.
Made it.
Like at the age, I made it.
Big girl job. I got my big girl job.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then after our first year, I got laid off. So like, not so great, but
laid off.
Yeah.
Welcome to the corporate world.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, corporate world for sure, right?
Yeah,
Got laid
exactly.
off.
That was my first layoff.
How did that? How old were you, if you don't mind me asking, at that time when you got laid off?
I was in my 20s. So yeah. So
20s,
I got laid off. And the funny thing is, the director that laid me off at the time, recently reached out to join my coaching program.
Oh wow!
Like years later, but I don't think he remembered that he laid me off because it was so long ago. So
what company was it?
it was called Ascentium. It's called it's a different name now, but it's like ad agency.
Being laid off at the early age of 20s, like to you was just, all right, let me just find another job, because a lot of people would freak out, right?
Yeah,
I think of corporate, I think people have been in that corporate world for years, and I don't know, I just see a lot of movies. Someone gets laid off, they freak out. I mean, how did you take it?
I was devastated because it was my first. I took it personally because I didn't know that was my first job, and I didn't see it coming. So I was like super, I was like bummed. And then someone recently told me that he's like, yeah, I remember how they laid you off. I didn't think it was cool. Like there was no notice, and so.
What was next after the being laid off?
So I pretty much just kept applying. That's all I knew was keep applying, go get another job in your 9 to 5, and then I just kept doing that for years and ended up at Microsoft, Amazon, hopping around like Seattle basically, like to different companies.
Seattle, how important it is when it comes to big companies like that.
Yeah.
Now, Microsoft and Amazon, which was first, Microsoft or Amazon?
Microsoft.
What did you do at Microsoft? I don't think I ever met anyone that worked at Microsoft.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What exactly did you do at Microsoft?
It's very Seattle. So
It's very Seattle. Yeah.
We're from Texas. We know cowboys. We don't know anybody at Microsoft.
So I did a lot stuff for the website, like ads, creating ads, marketing, graphics. Yeah.
For Amazon, for Microsoft themselves, so selling like their laptops or like what kind of actual?
Oh no, just in the corporate, I would just design ads for
yeah.
like the websites and for their hardware basically.
It's definitely a different world than you're in now.
Oh my god, 100%. Yeah.
After Microsoft went to Amazon, did you get laid off? What happened to Microsoft that you went to Amazon?
Yeah, so I did contracts, so it would last like 1 or 2 years, or they would get extended. So then I would go to like different companies.
Which one was your favorite? Maybe not out of those two, but out of all the jobs you had, I guess, before you got into the investing side, what was your favorite job?
Probably the last one I ended up at, which is entertainment, gaming.
Okay.
And
Nice.
Before we go to the gaming.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. Did you ever meet Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos?
No, I didn't.
That would be cool.
Surprisingly.
You didn't get a chance to get on the rocket with all the girls.
Cool.
Next year.
Okay, so now you said to digital world. So what happened between, college, marketing, web designing, graphics, to where we're at now, real estate? What shifted that made you say, hey, I'm done with this? Or
Yeah, because when I was going through that, I was still married, and I just felt like it's just all I knew, right? Like my parents never left their job, and I just never even thought about entrepreneurship. I didn't even really know what that meant, honestly. I was not in that world, so.
It's totally different, right?
It's
Yeah,
totally,
like even that word, it sounds so funny now, but thinking back, I never even thought about that. So I just felt like, I just remember thinking, I felt like, oh, I feel like I'm destined for something more than this. I just had that feeling. And even though I worked at bigger companies, I never felt fulfilled and felt like, oh, I love my job. I want to do this forever. And so my ex also played it very safe in tech. So we were in the same mindset, in the same household. So I didn't really think any bigger. And so when we split up, that's, I think, when I started thinking that more, like, what can I do? And I got denied a raise because when I was a creative director, I got a raise after I took like a 3-month program outside of work. And then I realized I'm still being underpaid. And I asked again, and he's like, oh, yeah, we can't. So then I was like, how am I going to make more money? So I went on Google and started looking. I was like,
for side hustles?
yeah, basically, turn up the hustle, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the clip there. Clip it there. Let's go back to your parents. Your parents worked at the post office for 30 years. And as you're saying that, and you thought you at the time, ex-husband, I believe, or soon-to-be ex, whatever that's going on.
Oh,
We'll talk about that here in a minute. But at the time, that's all you knew, right? So, and the word, you said something funny. You didn't know what the word entrepreneur means, for the most part, right? Back then, as in general, because my dad's from Mexico, and it was the same mindset. Like, hey, he's been having these 2 jobs for like 30 plus years. That's all he knows. It's clocks in, clocks out. And funny you bring this up. I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day, and she's starting to apply for jobs. And I told her, you could be an entrepreneur. And she said, what exactly is entrepreneur? So it's crazy how the cultural or whatever the case may be when it comes to immigrant parents to where we're at today. So that's pretty cool to see. So you're looking at side hustles. Now, why you said you were looking for side hustles? Like, what made you type that in? Was it because of divorce?
If you want to be blunt, it's to make more money.
To make more money. Or was it because of the divorce or something? Or was that what you
said? Well, I was going through the divorce. But I think even before that, I always had something in my head. It's just that feeling like I want to do something more with my life. And so I think once we split up, that was still there, and I didn't have anyone holding me back at that point. So then I started looking online, like, oh, I wonder how I can make more money. What can I do?
It sounds like
I like her first answer. What? Just to make more money. That's what it is for everyone. Everyone always wants to polish it.
Right?
It really comes down to it to make more money.
Sounds like your story.
Yeah.
I did though. I was like, how do I make a lot of money with the least amount of time? I was thinking that in my head.
Well,
and I was like,
that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Everyone else, like I said, everyone always wants to polish it to help the community, and which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's to make more money. So you're Googling side hustles, and you want to say, man, I got to trump the hustle, and you stumbled upon real estate, you stumbled upon different industries, or how did that work?
It's interesting because I wasn't like, oh, I want to go, do real estate. It was more literally like, how do I make more money with the least amount of work and time? But then I was looking.
That's a good query.
Yeah. To keep it real. And so, there's just all those things at the time, like drop shipping, flipping houses, Airbnb, whatever. There's like hundreds of things. So I just started kind of looking into random stuff. And then, when you keep looking at one thing, it pushes you all these other things in that category. So I started seeing a lot of things on Airbnb. And then I thought, oh, okay, like, what is this? And I just kept seeing it more and more. So then I just started getting attracted to that thing and looking into it on YouTube, following the mentors, seeing their lifestyle. Like, oh, they don't work. Yeah, the mentor that I ended up hiring too. I was like, oh, I want his lifestyle. He doesn't work much, and look at his lifestyle. It's so nice. Taking vacations all the time.
What year was this?
I think 2021, maybe 22.
Yeah, it was hot about that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it still is if you do the right things like you're doing. But so you find real estate, you see Airbnbs, you saw flipping. Why didn't you go flipping? It was because of the time.
Oh yeah. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it just felt like more capital and time, and And then I think it was one of the things though. And yeah.
When you were looking at real estate and you stumbled upon Airbnbs, intimidated? Maybe? No?
Not as much, because it was arbitrage too.
Arbitrage. We'll get into arbitrage in a minute.
Yeah, but it was intimidating in the sense that I didn't know anything else than like tech.
Right.
Yeah, but then I felt like I think it was my your whole why. My why was to make more money. To
See, I like this. I love it. Goes back to making more money. Okay.
And then I'm a single income parent too. And so it was everything. But it was really my motivation to just do more with my life than I had done, which is partly also why I left the marriage. So everything I think just started like, I just want to stop settling, basically.
But like we keep talking about this single income parent, the marriage, big toll on this divorce.
Oh yeah,
like mindset wise, income wise, life wise.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time, and it was going on when I even started my business. So, but I think I was thinking like, I'm not going to let this hold me back. And I use it as like fuel to power, for the fire, basically, to work harder.
Which is cool that you're doing, because there are a lot of people that want to start your journey who may say, hey, I'm going through divorce and, I don't know how this works, but maybe he was a breadwinner and probably don't have that initiative like you did. Say, hey, I'm doing tech and I'm going to do something all whole right side field and just start something brand new. What words of encouragement do you have to those people? Because there's a lot of people that can't get out of that mindset of, I was married for X amount. How many years? Are we married?
7, but we were together for 13.
So 13 years. Yeah. That's a long time to say, hey, all right, I'm stepping away. I got to be my own person. A lot of people have a hard time with that. A lot of people have a hard time. What words of encouragement you might have for those individuals?
Yeah, because I felt stuck for so many years. And I realized once I did it, all it really took was the one decision to say, I'm going to stop and I'm going to leave and choose myself. Because I was looking for answers everywhere, whether it's through therapy or YouTube videos or your friends. You're talking to your friends all the time. What should I do? And you go to them with your problems, and then you notice you keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. And I realized none of that's really going to do anything unless you decide that it's time for you to leave or whether it's a job or the relationship. And even if you decide to hire the mentor or try a new thing, it's really just you saying, I'm going to do it. So that's the advice I would say, because I could have left 10 years before that if I said, okay, I'm just going to leave right now. Yeah. And I was just scared. So don't let fear get in the way of your decisions of what you know is best for you.
Hustlers, real estate investing doesn't have to be overwhelming, and you don't have to do it alone. If you've been watching from the sidelines, scrolling past deals on Zillow, or binging YouTube videos, but still not taking action, this is for you. That's why we built Hustle Academy, a community designed for new and experienced real estate investors who want to learn, network, and grow. Inside Hustle Academy, you'll get weekly live calls, Q&A sessions, and step-by-step classes on fix and flip, wholesaling, creative finance, and my favorite, subject to deals. Everything you need to know to build real skills and start closing real deals. You'll join a powerful group of like-minded hustlers who are sharing wins, breaking down deals, and all pushing toward the same goal: financial freedom through real estate. If you're ready to level up, no matter what stage you're starting at, join Hustle Academy today. Tap the link in the description or visit hustleacademy.com, and let's trump the hustle together. I think that's a lot of people are scared.
Yes.
Scared to take that first step. This is all I know. And taking that action and say, hey, I'm starting with Google. I'm going to search this, and just taking that first step. So kudos to you for doing that.
It's also, I'll just chime in here real quick. It's also something that you said, it's very simple. I always say this, life is very simple, even though it's complicated, but it's complicated because we make it complicated, right? You know, our mutual friend, Ryan Pineda, and I don't know Alex Hermosi personally, but the way that they think, the way that high-level performers think, everything's so matter of fact. You want a six-pack? What does it take? Diet, gym, every day, period. You do that and you get the result, right? How does it take to be an entrepreneur? Invest in mentorship, learn, invest time, money, execute, and you get the result, right? Same thing with you in a relationship. If your relationship's not going good, you either go to therapy, fix it, and if it's on repeat over and over, you change it, right? What did Ryan say? I think at the last event that we were at, he's like, I don't let anything linger. If I start seeing a little belly fat, I just stop eating. Like literally, I'll just stop eating until it goes away. So you identify the problem fast and then come up with a solution, a radical solution, and you just take the action. So a lot of people don't want to take the action because there's nothing new out there, right? You can go from all the way to tech at the highest level to doing real estate, you know, a very, not even traditional real estate, but a very different form of real estate that most people don't even understand. If you say the word arbitrage, they don't know what it means. You say Airbnb, they think it's complicated, and you literally just shifted from one to the next because it's, again, life is simple as long as you make it simple and you just do the things that you need to do. If everybody would just do what they need to do.
I love that. That's so true. Because I think it should be simple. We complicate it with excuses and circumstances, like
and emotions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they
That's
always
why
say
the
like
robots
logic
are
over
take
emotions.
over because they have no emotions. They don't care about anything. They just task said, task done.
So now we Googled Airbnbs. You follow the lifestyle. You said, this guy's living life, taking cool trips, and he's doing Airbnb. What was your first step after that? Now I think you focus and you zone in a little bit on Airbnbs. What was your first step into this luxury world that you're in now?
Yeah, so I hired, the mentor, I was thinking, I don't know. I was scared. It was a huge risk because it was $35,000.
$35,000
Yeah.
So you didn't take I don't want to say the word action. You didn't start Airbnb. You said, hey, before I even do it, I need coaching or I need some type of mentorship?
Yeah, so which is interesting because I've never had a coach. Now I know like you should have a coach and a mentor.
Such a life hack.
Yeah.
But I didn't think like, oh, I need to go get me a coach. Like I didn't know. So, and so I just started looking and I just naturally felt like, oh, I can learn from this guy because I'm not going to go. I knew that I didn't have time and patience and discipline to go learn off YouTube. And I have a busy life. I'm not going to like keep myself accountable. So then I thought, oh, well, what if I go join this guy's mentorship? And he was advertising, oh, apply for it. So I applied thinking like, oh, didn't think much of it. And then we had a conversation and, he's like, what is your why? And I was like, well, I want to be.
Tell him the money?
Yeah.
That's what money, dude. It's real simple.
Exactly.
So that's cool because a lot of people would try it first and then they would fail and then they would realize, oh, I need a coach or a mentor.
Or they just move on. They don't even.
Or they move on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's so interesting that, I think my desire was so like, I want to learn this.
That's good. $35,000, that's a big ticket.
Oh my God. Yeah. And for me too, it was a huge amount of money. And so I told him my why was, I want to be a good example for my kids and, be a good role model and create, financial freedom and wealth and all that. So he's like, okay, it's $35,000.
$35,000.
On that topic, it is one, I'm the biggest believer in mentorship. He knows me. I'll buy like 10 programs a year. Like I totally believe in mentorship, right? However, there are guys, just because the price tag is high and just because their Instagram looks good does not mean that you're going to get any value out of it. And so it's good that you got a good person, because that could have also basically, I don't want to say ruined your career, but it could have turned you off to what is now a really good career. Right? If you would have got a bad mentor that they're showing the lifestyle and then you pay them 35 grand and then you get, not as much value as you should for 35 grand, you didn't learn much, or you couldn't actually get your first deal done, then at that point it's like, it actually turns you off and away from the industry. So it's really good that you got a good mentor, because as much as I believe in mentorship, and I think it is probably one of the biggest life hacks, I talk about it all the time. If I want to learn how to build a rocket, I'm not going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go to Elon Musk and say, how much does it cost to learn how to build a rocket, right? And you're going to pass through years and years and years of headaches and issues because he's already done it. He already tells you, don't do this, don't buy that material, don't use this. And so if you have the right mentor, it is literally priceless. I mean, depending on what the value of said product is, right? It can be, it's very, 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 it's worth whatever the dollar amount is. However, if it is not a good coach, and so I wish there was a system or a guide or some way, maybe ChatGPT now can tell us who's good and who's not. But yeah, because I hate that when people get turned off from mentorship, because it is such a life hack and such a way to fast forward through 2, 3, 5, 10 years sometimes. But if you get the wrong one, it can literally just discourage somebody. So anyways, I'm glad that you
agree with you. That's a good point though, because even back then I wired the money. Yeah. So I was like,
there's no getting it back.
Ran away. So that's why my friends were like, what are you doing? You're crazy. Like they all told me not to do it, and they were all in their 9 to 5, so they didn't know either. And so I could have easily been like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. But then, so then I went all in.
Yeah, good for you.
And I think to your point too is that a lot of people will also join, because I was one of the only ones in that program to start a business. So I think the other thing too is people also think like, if I join this, am I going to be guaranteed something? And so I think they don't realize you have to put the work in. Yep. So like
it's not handed to you.
It's not a guarantee.
That's what people want.
Yeah,
I spent 35 grand. What's my return?
I get a lot of people asking me.
Yeah, you got to do your own return.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you find his mentor. You take the big chance of spending $35,000 and you wired it all up front. You learn Airbnbs.
Yeah.
When you first joined this program, I guess what was a myth you thought about Airbnbs that a lot of beginners who are watching may say, hey, I didn't know this. What's one of the biggest myths or misconceptions that you may think Airbnbs?
You know what's interesting? You just made me realize I didn't really think of going into thinking like, what if it doesn't work? Which is interesting. I think I just went into thinking like, I hope it works. And I hope one day I can leave my 9 to 5. And so I think one of the biggest myths is probably that it didn't require that much time that I thought. Because remember I said I Googled, I was thinking how to make a lot of money with the least amount of work and time. And so I didn't really think that was possible. So, and then the second week of that program, we learned how to pitch and negotiate with landlords. Like I had to go and pitch and try to get their house to let me put on Airbnb. And I never did sales before, or I don't know if it's really considered sales, but I was.
I think so. Yeah. Customer service sales. I would think so.
Yeah. So I was like in my cubicle, in my for like years, just like by myself sometimes, and I don't have to do sales at all. And so I went into it though. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do what he says, and then I got 4 properties in that second week.
Let me stop you there, because you just threw in a bombshell here. Well, a lot of people probably don't know. When we talked about this word earlier, that word is arbitrage. When most people think of Airbnbs, they think they have to go through the traditional route of conventional financing, putting 20% down, and a house here in San Antonio, let's say 300 grand. So 20% down, 60 G's. They don't have 60 G's and this and that. But you're doing arbitrage, and you said you were speaking to landlords on your first week or second week?
Yeah, second week, yeah.
So explain, for those who don't really understand what arbitrage means, explain in a quick nutshell, what exactly is arbitrage, and how did you benefit from it?
That's a great question, because I didn't know what arbitrage meant when I started all this. So it's when you rent a property. So you don't need the 20% down payment to buy a house to put on Airbnb. You can actually rent it from the landlord legally. And so you can scale faster because you're just renting it. So
the cool part is with arbitrage, who does all the repairs?
Oh, the landlord.
The landlord.
Yeah.
When I first heard of arbitrage, I was like, man, that's a really, really cool concept. I mean, I didn't even think about it myself. I was buying a lot of sub-2s, and I was turning them into Airbnbs. But yeah, it's a lot easier, right? You just rent the house out. Hey, water leaks, air conditioning, that's on you. I'm just here to rent it because they were going to rent it anyway. So it's a win-win situation for that landlord who was in that position. So in the second week, you got 4 properties?
Yeah. Because
Dang.
one landlord had 3 and then one person had 1. So I said, okay, I'll take them all because I got all excited because I didn't think I was going to get it that fast.
Shoot. The crazy part though is when I first heard arbitrage, I thought, well, why would the landlord say yes? You're gonna have a lot of people coming in and out. You know, it's gonna be heavy use. What are some I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Objections that a landlord may have when it comes to, hey, this is Linda. I want like to rent your house out so I can arbitrage it.
Yeah, so there's a whole pitch around it. So you don't start it by saying, "Oh, hey, can I Airbnb?" Because then they're gonna hang up the phone. So you kind of present it as a business, like you have a corporate business, housing business, and then you take care of all the maintenance and the cleanings. And so the landlords I have now, I've had them for years because they keep wanting to renew because it's in like really good shape. Yeah, it's basically staged all the time and then we don't there's no parties because I don't do one night stays. So there's like all these different angles.
Yeah, let's talk about the angles here in a minute.
Yeah.
So now you got your 4 properties. My next thing, if I was jumping into Airbnbs, how do I get the money to afford all the furniture? Do we get high-end furniture? What did you find that was most suitable to you? Your average home, or are we doing luxury, or are we just kind of doing basic? And then how's the furniture? How does that work?
Yeah, so a lot of people will either, you can use your capital for furniture if you don't want, or you can use 0% APR credit cards. So if you do that, you can scale fast, and then
Is that what you did?
it's very low capital. I did like in the middle, yeah. In the beginning, I used my own, and then I would use credit cards.
And we're using brand new furniture, or
Oh,
is that
yeah.
used furniture?
Yeah, I would do brand new furniture, and then design the house and furnish it, and yeah, do like more luxury, nicer furniture, and then you make more money that way too.
Okay, that's what, because I know you're about the money. I know you're about the more money. Every time you make more money. So after looking at your homework with this coaching program, you decided to go luxury Airbnbs.
Yeah,
right?
and my mentor was kind of on the luxury side too, but luxury as in like it's single family
Right.
with nicer furniture and
See, when I think of luxury, I think of like, I don't know, $1 million mansions.
yeah.
Is that what we're doing, or
I don't
am
have
off?
mansions, but he does. But yeah,
And why luxury again?
just like the way it's staged and they're bigger homes and yeah,
Better clients, less
yeah,
headaches,
exactly. And you can charge more and yeah.
More
better
money.
margin. That's a recurring theme here. So for a brand new audience member that may be watching this and never heard of, maybe has never even thought about doing Airbnb, maybe they've stayed at one or maybe they haven't. The program that you offer and that you went through in the business that you're running now is basically you find a house on probably Zillow or MLS that's for rent. You go in there, you get a contract for rent for, let's say, a year at a time, I'm assuming, right? And then you fix it up, get it list ready, but not for sale or for rent. You get it list ready for Airbnb. You then stick monthly or weekly or daily renters in there, and the difference of the cash made is what you make, right? That's your business.
Exactly.
So from a business standpoint, the only cost that you really have is probably your lease deposit, your first month's rent, your furniture, if you're doing furniture, and you're probably obviously not doing upgrades to the house. You're not adding a tennis court. Like some of these people who
Yeah.
buy the homes, they're adding golf courses and tennis courts and pickleball and pools and all
Yeah.
that stuff. You're not doing any of that. You're finding houses that already are in, I'm assuming, good areas next to maybe football stadiums or whatever the attraction is in the area, right? And then you're listing it on Airbnb. And so what would be your turnaround rate from the day that you sign that lease? How long does it take you to actually get your first renter in that house?
So I've got it down to like 1 to 2 days set up now, and typically it's about a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's fast.
yeah. So I remember my mentor at the time was like, "Oh my god!" So I like created this whole system. So I get it done. Even in Houston, I flew out and got it all set up in like 1.5 days. Got the photos done the day after, and then I put on Airbnb because photos are like 1 day turnaround, super
Yeah.
fast. And I put it on Airbnb the next day. So that was like 4 days. And sometimes I'll get a first booking within 24 hours, 48 hours. So
Jeez. So
Yeah.
you're doing houses what cities and states do you have houses in right now?
California and Texas.
California and Texas. So it's not just central. How are you doing the furniture? You buying everything from IKEA and just having it shipped, or you buying it? How do you do all that?
When it's out of state?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do it from online stores like Wayfair.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so
Yeah.
your design background definitely comes into play because you obviously know how to design a house. Whereas if you had just your average Joe Blow, they probably are like, I think that looks good.
That was me. I had my Airbnb journey.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, and that turned into design business too, because people were like, "Oh, do mine," and then
And so now they call you for design.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very
So
cool.
let's do this. Airbnb, that's your thing. How do you identify the right house to talk to a landlord to rent it out to do Airbnb? Is it like what he's saying, something that's attraction wise? Do you look at demographics? Do you look at, I guess, the city itself? Because you're saying California and Texas. What to you, Linda, is a good rental property that you can turn into Airbnb?
So first of all, I'll look at like AirDNA, or there's a lot of different sites with the data to see which cities are performing the best. And then once I get the city, I'll go look for rentals in that place. So typically I'll look for larger homes for 3 to 5 bedrooms. More bedrooms, the more money. And then I'm just keeping it real. And then you want to be next to attractions. It doesn't have to be like Disneyland, because even in Houston, it's not really near much, but it's around a lot of good restaurants. So even if that is the case,
Is it close to downtown?
Yeah, probably like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. And then something that's turnkey, I like if it looks nice, the canvas has to be nice. The house should be not super old and like dated, because then you can't remodel it. So yeah.
Canvas. Never heard of that before. Never heard someone call it a canvas.
Yeah,
That's that artist in you. Canvas of the house.
Because you have to put the furniture in, and then it's like,
That's cool. So you said AirDNA, right? There's probably a lot of people who never heard of AirDNA. What exactly is AirDNA.com, and what benefits that is provided someone like you who's fully committed to Airbnbs?
Yeah, so some people might originally think like, oh, maybe I should go do one in Florida next to the beach that I like, or go maybe,
That way I have a vacation home every summer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they might just go off emotions. But there's actually more. You have to put more science behind it. You have to do your research and go to somewhere like AirDNA, or there's other sites too, to do your homework, to see the occupancy rate and all that stuff before you go there.
Now they also give you like, I guess, comps, like how much the houses will go for. Can you put an address in AirDNA.com and it kind of tells you like a score and what the comps will kind of go for?
I don't know about specific address. I think Rabu you can.
Okay.
But you also want to take it with a grain of salt. But I think generally it gives you a good idea.
Kind of like the Zillow's estimate. He's in the
Yeah,
ballpark, but
yeah.
you don't want to take it as low, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But at least like maybe somewhere has 20% occupancy versus 60 or 70. Then you're like, okay.
So you started with 4. How many are we at now? Or what's your peak?
Oh yeah. So I have almost 10.
10.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of furniture. A lot of furniture. It's a lot of.
Yeah.
How's it management wise?
Well, so I have a system. So it's 2 hours a week, and I have a virtual assistant. So she manages everything.
2 hours a week?
Yeah. So it's
2
like my.
hours a
We're in the
week.
wrong business, dude.
I know. You're spending 2 hours a week to manage a $10 million Airbnb portfolio?
Yeah.
That's a clip
That's-
right there.
Even now, it just doesn't feel like real life. Just like, it's crazy. Yeah.
So I'm going to be the skeptic in this. So if I had, or let's say a house in let's go back to Houston, $1.5 million home, near some attractions, near downtown, my rent is probably going to be $5,500, $6,000. Is that around the ballpark what you're renting a house for, your lease?
Yeah, any from like 3,500 to 6,500.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 5,500, let's call it. You're going to stick tenants in there, hopefully, renters from Airbnb. How much can you actually make on one of these? A single one?
So the target is double the rent. So let's say if your rent was 5,000, you want to shoot to make at least 5,000 profit, because then you got to pay $5K to your rent, and then cleaning's covered by the guest, so you're not even paying the cleaning.
Right.
And so, but sometimes it's even double that. So sometimes like a Houston property, I had $3,900 rent. I made $11K profit. That was the highest it made in 1 month. And it's not like it's like some fancy city. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
If you're serious about real estate investing, then you already know deals don't just show up. You have to go out there and find them. That's why we use PropStream. PropStream helps you search smarter, identify the right opportunities, connect with motivated sellers, and close more deals all in one place. Whether you're looking for absentee owners, pre-foreclosures, high equity properties, or off-market opportunities, PropStream gives you the data and tools to find the right deals faster. And now with their latest AI-powered tools, analyzing properties and spotting opportunities is even easier. helping you make better decisions without wasting time digging through bad leads. In today's market, the investors who win are the ones with the best information and the fastest execution. So if you want to search better, connect smarter, and transact more consistently, check out PropStream. Click the link in the description and start finding your next deal today. I'm still...
We might have to talk after this.
I know.
Well, because I was bringing it back to design. Design sounds kind of silly, but it really like determines how much you can make. You can charge double.
It's the canvas. It's all about the canvas.
Exactly. The canvas
I'm
has to be
still
right.
like mind blown that you're only spending 2 hours a week
Oh
to
yeah,
maintain
yeah,
a $10 million Airbnb portfolio.
yeah. Because even if you get another one, it's running the same system and the VA's running it, so it's not like it's that much more work. And it's not like the guest is messaging you all day either. So it's like it's really just them asking you stuff. And
That's
so,
interesting because I've been a Turo host for a while. I have a small fleet of Turo cars, which is the similar version of Airbnb but for vehicles. And it is not 2 hours a week. It is nothing but headaches all the time.
Oh, that's what I heard.
So I'm like, this can't be real. But yeah, that's incredible. It's
Yeah,
only
yeah,
2 hours a week. And so when
Yeah.
you're going, let's say next week you're gonna go to Atlanta. You're gonna do a house in Atlanta. How do you find the team? How do you find the cleaners? How do you find the maintenance guys?
Yeah, because I started in California because I just thought, oh, out of state sounds intimidating.
Yeah.
But I have students now, they went straight out of state right away.
Yeah.
Like one student they got 3 out of state or 2 out of state. But once I did it, I thought, oh, this is actually not that bad. So what I did was it's running on the same system. So at that point, I already know how to do everything.
Right.
So I found the house, signed the lease, and then I just looked for like help on TaskRabbit or Yelp or Google.
Yeah, yeah.
And then found my cleaners, people to set it up. And then I flew down, had everything shipped, got there, and they were there, and we just set everything up. And so I only went there once in the whole year to Houston for a podcast. It wasn't even to look at the house. So I went there.
Make it sound so easy.
I know. But yeah, there's a little nuances, but yeah, it can be pretty once you know the system. Yeah.
So I dabbled in Airbnbs. I think my peak, I think I had seven units, or 7 doors. The best one I had was, and I mentioned this earlier, San Antonio is known as military city. We have 5 military bases here. One of the biggest ones is Lackland Air Force Base. And the crazy part is Lackland Air Force Base is not like the Army. I did 12 years in the Army. But in the Air Force, every single airman has to go to Lackland Air Force Base to do basic training.
Wow.
They go to basic training. It's typically, I want to say, Air Force is 9 to 10 weeks. They graduate Air Force basic training, and their family wants to see them walk the stage. They want to see them become an official airman. So you got their spouses and the kids and the grandparents, and they all come to San Antonio to see their airmen after 10 weeks. They haven't seen them walk the stage, get their wings pinned on, and become an official airman of the United States Air Force. Now, the cool part here being San Antonio, basic training graduation, I believe, is 1,000 airmen a week.
Wow.
Every single week. And graduation is every single Friday of every single week.
That's an opportunity.
That's
an opportunity.
crazy, yeah.
So my best Airbnb was 3 minutes away from Lackland Air Force Base.
Wow.
This thing was booked almost a year out, right? Because again, they fly in Wednesday night because they get to see their airmen for the first time on Thursday. So they come in Wednesday night, they see their airmen on Thursday, they see the graduation on Friday, and after 10 weeks, that's the first time the airmen can leave the Lackland Air Force Base for the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. They go back to the Air Force on Monday, and the family will fly back out on Tuesday. So we were getting this thing booked weeks out in advance, months out in advance.
Wow.
That was one of my best ones. I think that one, it was no $1 million Airbnb, but it was the convenience of, hey, there's people flying in every single Thursday.
Yeah.
And we're talking about thousands of people to see their kid join or whatever the case is. So that was my best one. But then all the other Airbnbs, I felt like were dying out. It wasn't being rented as much. And these weren't arbitrage. So I was doing both. I was doing all the work and the management. I hired this company. I forget what it's called, but I hired a company to handle everything for me. And the numbers just weren't there. So a lot of people who might say, this Airbnb is a dying sport or a dying breed. What do you say to those people?
Yeah.
That is it's a dying business, I guess.
Yeah, because I've heard that. But they just had, I think, $92 billion in economic revenue or something. But yeah, and some of their highest quarters so far. So I would say it's still doing really well. And even, what's it called? So what is that? I think it's getting filtered. Because I've heard like 10 years ago when people did it, you could just have some crappy
Anything.
house with like
Yeah.
crappy furniture and it would do well. But now it's competition, so you have to, if you do it well, you design it well, and you have it in the right areas, you can still make a lot of money. And so a lot of people will go to you instead of the people at the bottom. So yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Because
So it's this huge industry still. It's still making a lot of money, and
Just like everything else, right? Everyone wants a nice
Yeah.
product, right? Back then it was so
Yeah.
easy. Back then it was a
Yeah.
fad. And we're not gonna
Yeah.
stay at a hotel. We're gonna support this, and we're gonna stay at a house. And
Yeah.
why get a 1-bedroom hotel when we get a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house? That was it. And then in transition, you got oversaturated. And then some of my Airbnbs, I would just make more if I just rented it out and not deal with the headaches. But like you said, everything has a product. People will pay for product.
Yeah.
People will pay for comfort. People will pay for convenience and luxury. So I think that's a really
Exactly.
cool market that you're in.
Yeah, so my dad, when Airbnb first came out, he gave up on hotels everywhere he went.
Oh.
Airbnb, even till to this day, everywhere he goes, Airbnb. And I'm just the opposite. I am no shade to the Airbnb game, but I don't have to bring my own food. I don't have to like make my own bed every day. I don't have to worry about the towels, not getting clean. I am a hotel guy to the core. I love a nice hotel. But I've stayed at some very nice Airbnbs. Like I get it. If you're doing, going to Arizona, there's a cool, we've stayed at a really cool Airbnb we took the team out there, or he took the team out there one year and I tagged along. And, that's cool. I get it for experiences like that. But I mean, it's funny how there's people that are just on, like, even my dad and I, just totally opposite sides of the spectrum. For your clients, do you, obviously you're designing it with them in mind whenever you're putting in the furniture and stuff like that. But when you're doing your research through AirDNA and all these sites, how do you know who's your client? How is it bigger families? Is it small? Obviously, if you're getting bigger bedrooms, it's bigger families. But how do you go into it? Because even though there's minimal investment involved, you have a lease in place, right? And you have to perform. You bought the furniture.
Yeah.
You've got utilities and all this other stuff. So you have insurance, I'm sure, that you have to put onto it. So I mean, you've got all these bills on your side. How do you do that research to make sure that it's going to stay rented out aside from just the furniture? What else goes into it to make sure that, hey, this is going to be a winner for me?
Yeah, so Airbnb has $1 million, I think, liability and then damage. So $1 million and then $3 million. So they cover all that. And then,
Even when it's unrented? Let's say there's not a guest in it.
if there's no guest in it, nothing usually happens.
Somebody breaks in at night and it catches on fire or whatever.
That's a good question. Probably. I haven't thought of it.
Note to self.
Knock on wood. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, and then the time it's not getting rented, typically, so I try to go to high occupancy areas. And then I also have calendar strategies of how to get the weekends all full and fill up the weekdays. So a lot of that has helped a lot. And worst case scenario, because you are in a lease, because it's arbitrage, the benefit is that you can just get out of the lease. There's a way to get out of there with a clause and then move it to a better area.
That's one of the
Yeah.
tips and tricks that a lot of people don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot to
Yeah.
talk about that. But let's go back to Houston real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You got the one in Houston. The last time I was in Houston, when I stayed in Airbnb, it was actually a 16-bedroom house.
Oh, wow.
I took the team there. We took the whole team, and we stayed at a 16-bedroom house. It was just for the weekend. It was Friday through Sunday. I think they charged like $7,000, but it was definitely worth it. A lot cheaper than 16 hotel
True.
rooms. So it was really cool to see how there's different projects from your basic. I've stayed on a tiny home before in Houston. I stayed in a tiny home before in Houston. I've stayed in a 16 bedroom home. So it's pretty cool. The mansion that we did in Arizona. So hotels are cool. But I mean, I like to explore and look at different things.
Yeah, that situation.
Right.
So we had a friend group back in the day. We'd travel, we'd go to all these different cities and just do different things. So Houston was one of them. This was I don't want to say it's the coolest Airbnb because there's a lot of cool ones. It was it was a cool design. They turned an old, I don't know, it was either like a tire repair shop or like an oil change shop, but it was all cinder block building. You would have never, I know because I know buildings and whatnot, but you would have never guessed. It was a nice, like, 5 or 6 bedroom house, had a pool table room, a game room, huge kitchen, because it wasn't laid out like a house originally. It was literally like a big oil change shop, and they just chopped it up and did it. It was really cool. It was luxury. It was high end, downtown,
wow.
convenient to like the NRG stadium, stuff like that. It was really cool.
I forgot. I also stayed in a tree Airbnb. It was like a big
No
tree.
way.
It was a big tree on the outside, but inside was actually bedrooms and stuff. Took the kids.
Oh, like a
somewhere.
tree house?
Like a big tree
Oh,
house,
that's
like a legit
awesome.
tree house.
Wow.
Air condition, all that good stuff.
Oh.
But yeah, it was a legit tree house. That was pretty cool. And then you got some theme ones, right? I've seen some crazy theme ones.
Yeah.
Disney theme ones. I've seen
Yeah.
some 80s theme ones. I've seen a Barbie theme one. So it's pretty cool to see all the different aspects of this one industry.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you have amenities you can't get in a hotel because hotels are nice too. But if you want like a garage or your own pool or you want to host your family all together, like I think it's there's nothing like it. So yeah.
Uncultured. No, I'm just kidding. So that's cool. So now you're at your peak. You're doing really, really well, and you got people looking at you. I was like, how do you spend 2 hours a week managing this $10 million portfolio of Airbnbs, making really good money? 'Cause that's what it's about. And now you got people saying, hey, teach me. Is that right?
Yeah.
How did that start? What are we doing? You're coaching now?
Yes.
Because people want to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Explain how this coaching program works.
Yeah, because I used to go to a lot of networking events, and I noticed over time that, because for me, I was like, it's just what I do, so I didn't think much of it. And so over time, they're like, you sound so nonchalant about it. Like, this is a big deal. How do you do this? So then I started coaching, and then there's already people wanting to join. So then I started it, and so I teach people how to create their business within 6 weeks. So it's very fast. And everything from how to get your LLC, how to set up your business website, how do you pitch to the landlord, and how do you set up the listings, automated systems so you're working a few hours a week. How do you do SEO, like everything. And everyone that's joining they have no experience. They don't know how to do it. I had a stay-at-home mom. She had zero experience, hit 6 figures and in like 4 months. And so, yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, they're learning everything from scratch. Because I didn't know anything either. And it's basically what I learned, and then everything I learned after that, obviously, like design and all that. And
that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
So I've got questions for you on that side because we obviously run a similar business, right?
Yeah.
The coaching business. How are you targeting people? Because I don't know, do you run them through a application? Do they have to have a certain amount of liquid assets available? Because obviously, there's investment. Who's your avatar? Who's your person that you're targeting? And how much money do you need them to have to get started?
Yeah. So typically so far it's been all over the board. It's interesting from like 20s to 50s, and men and women are like, it's almost like 50-50. And then a lot of them are in corporate, maybe tech lawyers. Some are like single parents that want more income. And some are like in their 20s that are just
Made money on Bitcoin.
yeah. Or they're like in real estate. They're working in like commercial real estate office, and they want to like build wealth. So it's all over the board. But typically people that either want to get out of the 9 to 5 or they're want like a side income. Because I have entrepreneurs too that just want like an extra income. Yeah.
And then how much when they join your program, if they're going to pay you to be coached and you know that they're going to get a business set up within 45 days, obviously to start some kind of business, you have to have a little bit of funds.
Oh, yeah.
What do you require them? Do you require them going into it before you sell them? Hey, you need to have this much available, or how much they need to have to get started?
Yeah. So typically I would say probably about 10K, 5 to 10K, because you need to pay rent, but furniture can be on, credit card. A lot of people do that. But some people will actually get their user credit limit to fund the Airbnb. And I teach that too. Because even in my mentorship, when I took it several years ago, there's someone in there that was pretty young. He spent all his money on the fee because 35K is a lot for especially someone younger.
Yeah.
And so he started there's a credit limit strategy. I'm sure you guys are familiar to get the first
business
one.
Funding, yeah.
Yeah, business funding. And then he did that, got one, started making money, got the second one, and kept just going.
You know Eric Chin?
Oh, yeah. Or
I
on
know
social
Eric.
media, yeah.
Yeah, Eric's cool. Eric's good guy.
Yeah,
He does that
exactly
same
like that, yeah.
strategy.
Let's go back to the single mom. Single mom how did she find you?
So she was in the neighborhood I used to live in. So I didn't know her very well, but she was like my neighbor's friend. And so she kind of maybe she was following me for a while. And then I think she felt like, I think she said it years ago, I want to learn this one day. But you don't really think much of it.
Right.
And then once I started it, she was like, she was serious. She's like, can I join? Signed up right away. And then.
Did she use credit cards?
Well, her husband was working. Oh, so she was a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, stay-at-home.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
stay-at-home.
okay.
Yeah,
Stay-at-home.
yeah.
That's cool side hustle. I mean, because I know it's tough to be a stay-at-home mom and learn the business of doing what you're doing, and then doing a lot of virtual. I mean, because if you're only doing 2 hours, I would assume one house could be, I guess, similar to the 2 hours. Just, you still got to manage it, right? The portfolio.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see how a stay-at-home mom signed up for your program, and then within months, making 6 figures.
Yeah, because they were joking in the beginning, like maybe she could retire her husband from his job. So
I'm the breadwinner.
That'd be good.
yeah, it's so crazy because she got
the
two
captain
out of
now.
state. That's where this is crazy. Like,
So Linda coming from corporate world, 9 to 5. And the cool part is, I think you said this earlier, I don't know if we caught it. The person who laid you off is now in your program?
Or he was inquiring, but then I think he was like, I don't know if the investment, but yeah.
Or embarrassed? I was like, oh.
Because someone else told me that he was the one that did it.
Wow.
Like, yeah, in the past year, he told me.
Crazy how it becomes full circle.
Exactly. So crazy. And I don't think he had the best reputation.
Oh. Well, stay away from him. Yeah. So Linda's mindset back then as corporate to now entrepreneur, making multiple six figures on doing Airbnbs and now teaching others who want to do this. What's your mindset now that's a lot different from the corporate mindset?
Yeah, so taking risks. I highly encourage taking risks, doing things that scare you. Because back then, remember, I was too scared to take risks and too scared to leave my marriage, the 9 to 5. Even the 9 to 5 when I started Airbnb, I was still in my 9 to 5 because I just thought like, oh, it's going to take me a while to build this up. I didn't know how fast it would take off. So yeah, mindset is way more growth mindset. So do things that are uncomfortable, be consistent with your habits and what you want to achieve. So, you got to put in the work like daily. And there's a lot of people that are in coaching programs. They might be excited at first and then they just stop doing the work. Yeah. And then they might blame the coach too, but you have to keep doing it. Like keep showing up and putting into action. Yeah.
And the hustle. Got to trump the hustle, literally.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hear you're writing a book. Is that true?
Yes.
This book, what is something that's in the book that you think a lot of people get caught off guard or surprised by? What's one piece of content in there where you think a lot of people get surprised by in this book?
I think, so I'm going to be pretty candid, more in detail about the struggle before the hustle.
The struggle before the hustle. I like that.
Maybe that's what I should name it. Yeah.
Whoa. Royalties.
Breaking news.
Royalties. The struggle before the hustle by Linda Kim.
Forward written by Mr. Hustle himself.
Exactly.
That's cool. That's a good one. But yeah, the struggle, right? I mean, everyone has a struggle, right? Everyone has a struggle. And it comes down to the hustle, and hustle's always been solid for me. Let me ask you something. You ever thought about investing in real estate but assumed you needed perfect credit, a huge savings account, or a bank willing to say yes? That's exactly why we're excited to partner with our guy, Mike Leva at Conventus. Conventus is a real estate lender built specifically for investors and not homeowners. They help people fund deals like fix and flips, buy and hold rentals, and even ground up construction. And here's the part most beginners don't realize. Conventus doesn't lend based on your W-2 income or your personal credit score. They focus on the deal itself, the value of the property, and the numbers behind it. That means investors can often access higher loan amounts and more flexible terms than a traditional bank, sometimes with rates that are more competitive than people expect. So instead of asking, do I qualify? The better question becomes, is this a good deal? If you're serious about getting into real estate investing and want a funding partner that truly understands investors, reach out to our go-to guy at Conventus, Mike Leva, today using the link in the show notes and see how real estate investors are actually getting deals funded.
So one thing I admire about you, and obviously we're new friends, right? We just met a few months ago, but I've now followed you and we've done some investigation before this podcast. But you not only made the big shift, took the big challenges, took the risks, and are crushing it, and now exploring other ways to make money, whether it's designing for other people, teaching other people, so you're generating multiple streams of income, but you're not stopping there. You're now writing a book, but you also, I see you at every single huge mastermind event. I mean, you were just, I think, with Ty Lopez last week. I know I've met you at Ryan Pineda's, mastermind, and so you're not done yet. You're still, seems like you're just getting started, and you're putting yourselves in the right rooms around very, 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 the highest of the high level in our industry, right? How do you get connected with these people, and what keeps driving you to connect with, people that are doing big things?
That's such a good question, because in the beginning, I was networking like a lot. Like I would drive 3 hours back and forth to LA, 3 hours, even just to stay there for 1 or 2 hours. And people would tell me I was crazy. Like what? Like, I would go there multiple times a week to things, and I would network with everybody. And I was still selective of where I was going. I wasn't going to like every random event on Eventbrite, but I was being selective. But now when I go to events, I am pretty selective about it, just because I have less time, and if I feel like there's going to be value, then I'll go. And like Ryan Pineda's and the mastermind I went to, and but I still try to do that because there's so many great connections that come with going there. Because I would have never met you if I never went to Ryan's, and I had to take time out to fly there and
spend half a week and
yeah, exactly. So it's not like you have to make effort. And even when I flew out to Atlanta last year, it changed my life because Shane So is now my business partner, and he invited me to his conference, and I didn't even know if I could go. I just said yes. And so I've never been to Atlanta, but something was telling me, like, because he's pretty high level. So I was like, I'm just going to do everything I can to go to this thing. Flew there, changed my life. And so I would say, yeah, like.
So literally just doing what everybody should be doing a little bit of research and buy the tickets and go, right? Just
Yeah, exactly. Because I think I know kind of not, I'm sure you guys know over time, like what might be value and what might not be.
Yeah.
So, I think what drives me is that just being around high level people like you guys and them and. Yeah.
Well, one thing I see a lot too is, especially helping him manage his social medias and then just looking at other people's social medias all the time. There's so many people that are like, even on Ryan's page, Ryan is the most genuine, down to earth, Christian guy, and everybody, this is a scam. This is, you see him so many comments on, and we know, he's friends with a lot of the big guys too. And if you go to all their social medias, there's just so many people with negative mindsets that are saying it's a scam. You're not going to get anything. I paid $500 one time and I didn't get anything back. It's like, well, dude, what did you do? What was your input, right? Because there's so many other people who do get benefit, and like, you're a testimony to this. You were not in this industry at all. You were, totally outside of it, and you invested not only the money but the time. You hunkered down, you committed, you drove to different events, right? And so it's a really encouraging story because it just shows that literally anybody can do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's discouraging for me to see sometimes when there's so many just negative people out there, and it's like, guy, your life could be so much better. You're sitting somewhere in a room writing negative comments on somebody's social media. Like, bro, what are you doing? Go and invest your time wisely and make something out of it, right? So big kudos to you. I really appreciate your story and everything that you've done, because it really is an inspiration to other people to show that, like, anybody can do it, whether you're going through a divorce at the same time, whether you're a single mom, whether you've got, personal issues going on, whatever you've got going on. If you apply yourself, put yourselves in the right room, get around the right people, humble yourself to say, hey, I'm not, even though you're making, I'm sure, really good money in tech, I've got these big corporate jobs, I'm an executive or whatever it may be, I'm going to not be the biggest name in the room, and I'm going to just sit and listen and understand and learn and then apply that. And that's how, that's really the cheat code. That's the success that most people can achieve if they apply themselves, and they just don't. So kudos to you for everything you've done. Yeah, for sure.
Now, Linda, we talked about all your accomplishments. I need to know who Linda is personally. And the best question for me to understand who you are and what you're about is this next question. And I judge on your answer. So FYI. To understand who Linda is personally and kind of get a better idea, what is your favorite movie?
Oh.
That's a good one.
On the spot.
Oh, man. Okay, well, I have to say, I haven't watched a lot of movies in the last few years.
Okay.
Because when I took my mentorship, he was like, don't watch TV.
Amen.
Yeah. But the only one off the top of my head is Crazy Stupid Love.
Another one. Okay. Crazy Stupid Love. Okay.
There's a lot more, but I can't remember.
Crazy Stupid Love. No worries. I'm always curious. Now, this is the Trump the Hustle podcast. Trump the Hustle, to me, it's not a motto. It's not a slogan. It truly is a way of life. When Linda thinks of Trump the Hustle, what does that mean to Linda? What does Turn Up the Hustle mean to you?
I think it's kind of like what Skylar said. I think it's like whatever is going on in your life, don't use excuses and circumstances to dictate like your actions, basically. So you need turn up the hustle, as in like put in everything you have and be consistent and show up and into the achieving your goals in your dream life, and just keep working at it, because if you base your actions off how you feel that day, then you're not going to achieve your goals. So just keep going and keep your eye on the prize, basically.
Very good. Well, first of all, I want to thank you so much for your time. For those who don't know, she flew in from California to do this podcast. So we're very, very honored. You're our first out-of-state guest, I believe. This is episode, I want to say 25 or so. And so your first out-of-state. So appreciate you coming on. And again, I just want to give kudos to you, flowers to you, because it is a very inspirational story. And so I really appreciate what you've done and for taking the time to come out. But for those who have maybe just are learning about you for the first time and they want to do what you've done, they see the inspirational story, and you know, I truly know that this is something that can be done, because I know other people that do this as well. And so this is a strategy that people can do and will make them money. If somebody wants to connect with you, wants to go to the program, how do they find you? How do they connect with you? How can they get signed up?
Yeah, so my coaching program is BNB Mastery Society, and it's bnbmasterysociety.com. And my Instagram is Linda Kim, Linda with 2 I's, because I can't get the 1 eye. If anyone knows who she is, please let me know. I've been messaging her, and she's not been Instagram for 15 years.
What about the real Linda Kim?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Royalties.
Okay.
But Linda Kim with 2 I's. And then what was that website one more time?
bnbmasterysociety.com.
Awesome.
And I also have a school program, SKOOL school.
What's
community.
what's the school program
It's
called?
BNB Mastery Society.
Awesome. And is there any parting words you want to leave with the guests before we go?
I would say to turn up the hustle and live your best life. Whatever you are doing in your life right now, if you're not happy, you can change it no matter who you are, where you live, what you're doing. And so just decide that you can do it and you're going to change your life.
Well, again, we appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for all the time. And for those viewers out there, we appreciate you tuning in each and every week and watching the Turn Up the Hustle podcast. If you get value out of this episode or any episode that you watch, we ask that you kindly like, subscribe, and follow the channel. And as always, turn up the hustle. We will see you guys on the next one. Peace.